Hi, I'm Pavitra Vijaykrishnan, MS Computer Science student at Alto University, and I'll be presenting my thesis titled Semi-Supervised Machine Learning Techniques for Infant Motility Classification. This work was in collaboration with Baba University, Baba research team from Helsinki University. This slide here shows the content structure for the remaining presentation. First, I'll introduce the problem along with the objective of this thesis. Secondly, I describe the infant data used for the study. Next, I'll walk through the previous research and current ML approaches for the problem of infant motility classification. Following that, I'll explain the experiments conducted for the study and discuss the results. Finally, I'll conclude along with some recommendations for future work. Activity recognition is an emerging field in the domain of healthcare and fitness industry. Human activity recognition is employed in wearable smart devices like Fitbit and Apple Watches to record and further analyze human movements. In elderly, advanced analysis can help predict the occurrence of stroke or other neurophysiological changes. In infants, this activity recognition, referred as IAR, can help identify motor disabilities like cerebral palsy and hemiplegia. Physiotherapists can then start treatments based on this data analyzed, and they can monitor regular progress as well. Unfortunately, AAR using supervised techniques require annotating the infant motility data. And manual annotation of motion data is labor-intensive, expensive, and ambiguous. Therefore, the objective of this thesis is to perform infant motility classification using semi-supervised machine learning techniques and compare the results with the state-of-the-art results obtained from end-to-end supervised learning models. The semi-supervised ML techniques utilizes both labeled and unlabeled data. And hopefully this reduces the burden of annotating all the infant motility data. Now let's see how IAR is performed. First step is gathering the data, where the motion data from sensors is collected using body-worn sensors such as watch, belt, or a jumpsuit. Second step is pre-processing to convert the motion data to a form acceptable by the ML algorithm that performs the classification. Next step is annotation, where each standalone data sample is associated with a class belonging to the predefined movement classes. And finally, ML algorithms are used to perform classification. The infant data used for this work is gathered using MyU. MyU is short for Motility Assessment of Infants with a Jumpsuit. And this is a smart jumpsuit with inertial measurement units mounted on its forelimbs. The inertial measurement unit comprises of an accelerometer to measure linear acceleration and a gyroscope to measure angular velocity of an infant's motion. The data from sensors is sampled at 52 Hz and has 24 channels arising from the triaxial accelerometer and gyroscope from the forelimbs. The sensor data gathered are sent to a computing device where it is linearly interpolated for missing sensor information. Next, the raw data is segmented at 1/22nd time step and with 50% overlap to make frames. Thus, the final pre-processed data is a tensor of the form n frames 120/24. After pre-processing, 3 trained evaluators independently annotate each frame with a label corresponding to one of the 9 movement classes shown here. For annotation, the timestamp of the video recording is matched to the timestamp within each frame and visually annotated. This manual visual annotation was found to be very challenging and ambiguous. Hence, the need to explore options that reduces the burden on annotated data. As mentioned earlier, the goal of this thesis is to analyze if semi-supervised learning techniques are beneficial for the task of IAR. To analyze the feasibility, The semi-supervised machine learning model is compared against the state-of-the-art supervised models. Thus, a measure for model evaluation is required. A metric is this measure that evaluates the effectiveness of an ML model. The choice of metric is dependent on the type of problem in hand. Here, IAR is a multi-class classification problem that utilizes skewed data. Therefore, accuracy cannot give reliable information. And the metric used for this problem is unweighted average F1 score, abbreviated as UAF. The UAF is computed as the average of F1 scores from all the classes in the multi-class classification problem. The F1 score of a class is the harmonic mean of precision and recall for that class. The previous approach employs supervised learning, which harnesses labeled data to perform classification. As shown here, this end-to-end supervised learning architecture has an encoder and a time series model that are jointly optimized on the labeled data. 5 different encoder and 5 different time series models were designed and experimented. The top 2 performing encoder models, referred here as SM2 and SM1, were reused in this work. Similarly, the best performing time series model, which was a WaveNet with a receptive field of the dilated convolution stack of 30 frames, was adopted for the current work. Now, let's discuss the proposed method. The proposed approach in this work is to perform classification using semi-supervised methods. Semi-supervised algorithm can make use of both labeled and unlabeled data, as they comprise of a combination of unsupervised and supervised learning aspects. The unlabeled data is used for representation learning using unsupervised learning algorithms. Next, the representation learned is used for downstream classification by a supervised training algorithm on labeled data. The architecture used for this work is shown here, where the unsupervised learning models used their autoencoder, abbreviated as AE, and contrastive predictive coding, abbreviated as CPC. The representation learned from the encoders of this unsupervised model are frozen and used as the pre-trained encoder in the supervised training part along with the classifier model. Thus, during the supervised learned training part, the weights are updated only for the classifier model and not the pre-trained encoder model. Autoencoder, abbreviated as AE, is an unsupervised representation learning algorithm that learns by reconstructing the input signal. Here again, we have an encoder model, and instead of the time series model, we have a decoder model. The AE learns an identity function which is made non-trivial because of the restrictions imposed on the network, especially at the bottleneck. Thus, the model learns a representation first by compressing the input signal to a lower dimensional representation and then by decompressing it to the original signal. Here, the decoder model used is a chain of deconvolutional networks, chain of deconvolutional layers that reconstructs the output of an encoder to the original signal. This decoder model used here is referred as decoder model 1 or DM1 for later use. The second unsupervised algorithm used is contrastive predictive coding. CPC architecture has an encoder and an autoregressive model that are jointly optimized using InfoNCE laws with the goal of maximizing mutual information in the latent space. The CPC architecture used here is of 2 types. One, the model learns by predicting all the K future frames and is called as CPC all. Second one, the model learns by predicting only the future Kth frame and is called as CPC only. K is a hyperparameter in the latent space and needs to be set externally. In the diagram shown here, the CPC model predicts all the future 3 frames, making it the CPC all architecture with a K value of 3. The mutual information maximization using the InfoNCE laws requires negative samples from the latent space for each frame at the time of training. The number of negative samples is chosen as 10 for this work. The representation learned by the output of the encoder model is then used as a pre-trained encoder model to perform downstream classification. CPC model here uses GRU as the autoregressive model. K values are chosen from 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20. One is not chosen for K value as the 50% overlap of windows to create frames would simplify the learning. For the CPC all architecture, the K values of 15 and 20 are excluded because of the increased time complexity during training. Thus, an AE-based SS model has an encoder model, decoder model, and a classifier model, whereas CPC-based SS model has an encoder model, AR model, and a classifier model. The choice of encoder model has SM1, SM2, and SM3. SM1 has 2D convolutional layers that separately learns the features for the accelerometer and gyroscope parts of the input. SM2 is a variation of the SM1, which employs high degree of parameter sharing. SM3 is a modification on SM2 with an added nonlinearity layer at the end of the network to model the relations across the different sensor units. The decoder model used here is DM1 and was discussed earlier under AE algorithm. For CPC, the AR model used is a GRU with 128 hidden units. The 6 different classifier models used in the supervised learning part of the semi-supervised learning are listed here as well. The first 3 are temporal models and the latter 3 are non-temporal models. The first 3 are non-temporal and the latter 3 are temporal models. The simple dense model, abbreviated as SD, has a single dense layer with softmax activation. The dense to softmax classifier has 2 dense layers with ReLU activation and a dropout followed by a dense layer with softmax activation. The deep dense classifier similarly has 4 dense layers with ReLU activation and dropout followed by a dense layer with softmax activation. The simple CNN, abbreviated as SC, has single 1D convolution layer followed by dense layer with softmax activation. The deep CNN has 3 1D convolution layers followed by dense layer with softmax activation. And finally, the WaveNet model is reused from the previous work as this gave the best performance. The experimental goals of this work are carried out in 2 parts. Firstly, we determine the optimal semi-supervised models for IAR classification. And this is done by independently identifying the optimal hyperparameters for both CPC-based and AE-based SS models. Next, we compare the optimal semi-supervised models against the supervised model in order to identify if semi-supervised approach is a viable alternative for the task of IAR. Next, let's go ahead and determine the optimal semi-supervised models for the classification task of IAR. The hyperparameters identified for this work are listed here. A grid search was performed on the hyperparameter space to determine the optimal values. The optimal hyperparameters for AE and CPC-based SS models are determined sequentially. That is, first, identify optimal hyperparameters of the unsupervised part. For this, all the CPC and AE-based models were trained with all combination of the supervised hyperparameters by keeping the classifier model as SD, or simple dense. Therefore, a total of 150 CPC-based SS models and 15 AE-based SS models were trained with the SD classifier model. All models are tenfold cross-validated. To determine one hyperparameter, the UAV score from the remaining hyperparameters were aggregated and Wilcox and Ransom test was performed on these values to look for significant differences for a p-value at a p-value of 0.05. For hyperparameters that did not show any significant differences, the optimal value was chosen based on the UAV score and model complexity. Once optimal hyperparameters for the unsupervised part was found, SS models were retrained with optimal SS and AE hyperparameters for the different classifier model to determine the best hyperparameter for the supervised part. To determine the optimal classifier model, Wilcoxon-Ransom test was applied again, but now on the distribution of F1 score from all the classes. And this F1 score from all the classes was obtained by averaging the class-wise F1 score from the AE-based SS model and CPC-based SS model for each of the different classifiers. Finally, the optimal hyperparameters identified for the CPC-based and AE-based SS models are shown here. The SM2 encoder and DC classifier were best in both cases. Similarly, latent space dimension of 256 was better for both models. For CPC, value of K was chosen to be 15, and CPC only was chosen as the better CPC architecture, as there was no improvement in performance with a more complex CPC all model. Next, let's analyze how the optimal semi-supervised models compare against the state-of-the-art supervised model. For this experiment, we reused the optimal CPC and AE-based SS models. We also trained the end-to-end supervised model for comparison purpose. Additionally, models like CPC RAND and fine-tuned semi-supervised models were trained. CPC RAND model corresponds to the optimal semi-supervised model with randomly initialized pre-trained encoder weights. The fine-tuned optimal SS model are called as CPC CONT and AE CONT, which comprises of the optimal CPC and AE-based SS models whose encoder weights were updated during the supervised part of semi-supervised training. The metric scores from the tenfold cross-validated training on the different models are tabulated here. Interestingly, supervised model has the highest accuracy and recall, and AE-based SS model has the highest precision. However, the OAF score was highest for the fine-tuned CPC-based SS model. OAF score being the determining metric. For this task, it is safe to assume that fine-tuned optimal CPC-based SS model was the best model here. The results of training different models under varying amounts of label training data is shown in the bar plot here. This helps to analyze the model robustness and feasibility of semi-supervised models for the task of IAR. Y-axis records the OAF score obtained by these models, and the x-axis presents the percentage of the total available label data utilized for this experiment. 100% of the training data corresponds to label data from 30 infants. 50% corresponds to 15 infants, 33.3 corresponds to label data from 10 infants, and 16.67 corresponds to label data from 5 infants. It can be seen that optimal SS model perform consistently better than the end-to-end supervised model, especially when the labeled training data utilized for the training is lowered. The CPC random model, as expected, displayed poor performance throughout and further declined when the labeled training data percentage was reduced. On the other hand, the CPC CONT and AE CONT models had the highest UAF performance across the different amounts of available labeled data that was used for training. And finally, to conclude, semi-supervised methods are beneficial for learning representations that are especially beneficial for lower amounts of available label training data. The semi-supervised model further improved performance when fine-tuned on the available label training data. Overall, semi-supervised approach that utilizes both labeled and unlabeled data is promising for the task of IAR. For future work, other unsupervised contrastive representation learning techniques such as multi-view coding, augmented multi-scale deep informax, and wave-to-wake can be implemented for IAR. These are the references used for this work. Thank you.